Hello and welcome here to the first episode of the Chicago Bears Madden 15 owner mode. So this is the introductory episode where we go over the preseason battles and the owner creation and that kind of stuff. So this is going to be a shorter episode, but the next episode, which will hopefully be up on Sunday, will have all the preseason highlights and we'll have our week 1 depth chart. So let's get into our owner creation. And here is what our man looks like. Terry Wolowitz is the new owner of the Chicago Bears. Nothing too exciting there. So we're getting set for the roster rundown. While we go through all of this, I'm just going to go over everything. So we'll be playing 14-minute quarters. I'm going to try to keep it as realistic as possible. So I'll be using sliders. I will be using Mr. Hurricane sliders, the ones that he uses once he comes out with them, showing which ones he's using. But for now, I'm going to be using Moonlight Swamis. So check out both guys. They're both really great commentators. They're two of my favorites on YouTube. So go subscribe to them if you like Madden and that kind of stuff. But as we're going through, I'm just trying to think. The computer will do the progression. I don't want to do that because that's sort of cheating. I think at least I'd prefer if the computer progresses your players. We'll do all the scouting at the end of the year. What else? There's not really much else to say. So if you have any questions regarding settings or anything, just let me know. I'll also be playing on standard camera angle and not the new zoom. I hate that zoom camera angle. But still going through, defensive tackle is one of our more interesting positions. Excuse me, I just stuttered there like 15 times. But there is a lot of interesting players on this team, especially on defense. A lot of young guys who aren't ready yet, like McClellan, Bostic, and Kasim Green, but they're all guys that should be ready in a few years' time. There's also the older guys that we already know about, like Charles Tillman and Tim Jennings, who are getting on in their career, and we need a replacement for them. And then there's positions like the safety positions where there's nobody who's clear-cut to start, but then there's positions like the kicker, who is awesome. So here we have a media question from Peter Schrager. It's basically saying that fans are concerned that we would be too emotional or involved because I did choose that Terry Wolowitz is a lifelong fan. And so we decided to reply with, I'm always going to be a fan first, so that means I'm always going to be looking out for the fans here because I know what they want. That's what we went with, and so, yeah. Then we did preseason week 1 game prep. We gave some time to Sherrick McManus and Kyle Fuller to develop and give them extra experience, and then we went ahead and with the final minutes remaining, we went ahead and gave Shea McClellan some tackling practice. And now here's one of the biggest things about the preseason position battles. Now in the second season, we will have a lot more interesting things, players fighting for roster positions, but if I counted correctly, we don't have to cut anybody because the rosters are already set. But if we do, this will become more important. But here we go. So we have backup quarterback between Clausen and David Fales. Backup running back between Kadeem Carey and Sean Drawn and Centerize Perry. The third receiver spot is wide open between Josh Morgan, Santonio Holmes, Marquise Wilson, and Spurlock. The backup tight end spot between Dante Rosario, Zach Miller, Mulligan, and Hartson. Hartson is a 54 overall. He's a long snap specialist, but for some reason they won't let me put him at long snapper in this game. Not sure about that. Backup right end is between Trevor Scott, Cornelius Washington, I believe his first name is, and David Bass. Now defensive tackle wide open. Starter or backup. Whoever plays the best in the preseason is going to get that starting job. Sorry, 2 starting jobs. But yeah, so keep an eye on the defensive tackle, see who does the best. It's between Jeremiah Ratliff, Stephen Paya, Will Sutton, and Ego Ferguson, all of which are within 6 overall points of each other, so it's wide open. At left outside linebackers, between Shane McClellan, John Bostic, Kasim Green, and Christian Jones. 3 guys played a bit last year, so it's going to be, again, wide open between McClellan, Bostic, and Green. But who knows, maybe Jones can surprise us and come away with the starting position. I doubt it, but that's what the preseason's for. At free safety, it is also wide open. We've got McCray, Chris Conti, and Brock Vereen. Also, while fighting for the free safety position, they'll be fighting for either... They'll also be fighting for the backup strong safety position, which is currently held by Ryan Mundy. The starter is held by Ryan Mundy. And kick return / punt return is also another wide open thing to look out for. We've got Spurlock, Centerize, Perry, Santonio Holmes, Sean Drawn, and I put Perry twice, but the other guy there, Sherrick McManus. So what I'm going to do for kick return and punt return is each returner will get a quarter per game, and Drawn and McManus will share the 4th quarter. So any returns will go to those guys, and by the end of the preseason, we'll hopefully have found somebody who was done consistently well, getting good yardage each time, and they could be our starting kick / punt returner. And so that's it for this first episode. Again, like I mentioned earlier, not a very long one, just sort of explaining what's going to go on in the preseason episode. So be on the lookout for that. I've already explained everything. Again, if you have any questions regarding settings or anything, just ask me in the comments. I will reply as quickly as possible. But as always, thank you for watching and have a nice day. Goodbye.